Hello, I'm Robert, and you're welcome here in my busy little shop. On today's episode of What's on My Workbench, I just returned from the Prescott Leather trade show, and I'm going to be putting new items on the workbench. So I thought I would do a little bit of a review of some of the items I purchased. Some of the tools I may go a little further in depth on that when I get to that point. I thought about doing this as a live, and maybe I should have, so you could ask some questions about it. But please use the comment area there, and if you get any questions, I don't care what it is, price, who I bought it from, any information. If I don't cover it in the detail you want, feel free to ask questions. Also, I don't want to forget, I had a few subscribers actually flag me down and say hi. I believe the guy's name was Steve. I saw him in the Leather Machine Company's booth, and Pam, she caught me just as I was headed out the door for the day. So I really appreciate people taking time to flag me down and say hi. It was nice to hear that and to get some feedback on some of my videos as well. So if you've been following along on my channel here, you know that I look forward to the Prescott Leather Show as an opportunity to purchase leather. Last August in Waco, Texas, I purchased leather from probably 3 different suppliers there. One of them was Maker's Leather Supply, and I purchased some import from them. And Makers didn't have any Veg-Tan leather on hand. They had all chrome tan leather, and I would have bought some of the Veg-Tan leather if they'd had it. But I ended up buying almost all the leather I have here from Montana Leather. And that's a company I've reviewed a couple different times, the materials that I've bought from them. And they had a nice selection of Veg-Tan leather. So I ended up buying 3 sides of an import leather. And this is, it's about 7-ounce leather. It's 7/8, I think, but I checked most of it. It's closer to the 7. And then I bought 1 side of Herman Oak leather, and this is, I believe this was labeled as 910, so a little bit thicker. And I can always strip it down if I want it to be a little bit smaller. I purchased this a lot off of the recommendation of Don Gonzales on the leather tooling side of things. He said that the import leather doesn't tool as nice. You don't get the definition of the burnish on that. Aaron Heiser with Maker Leather, he recently had a video showing several different leathers, and this is one of them that he had showed on there, and it tooled pretty well, but I wanted some a little bit thicker. I've got some panels that I want to practice on as well, so I bought a side of the Herman Oak on that as well. The Herman Oak I thought was priced really pretty good for what it is. This one seemed a little bit high. And then I went and I told myself I wasn't going to buy any more chrome tan leather. But when I saw this, I've bought this same pattern and color a couple of times, and I've made a few totes out of it. A couple of my viewers probably have a tote that I've made out of it. And I probably need to make a couple more totes. It's a real popular color. It's got a little bit of a pebble finish, and it was priced really nice enough that I couldn't avoid it. And then I was looking for a red. I've got a neighbor that has a daughter who likes flashy purses, and I saw this red, and at first I said no, but then my bride kept reminding me that it was really a pretty nice red. This is, I bought from Cloys Leather out of El Paso, and I've talked about them a few times. So I bought this from them, and it's a cowhide. It's about a 2 to 3 ounce, and I think it'll make a nice bag or 2. And then I was done buying leather, and I went back past Montana Leather, and they had this side there. This is a vegetable tan, and it's in a blue. I just think it's really a pretty blue. It's probably not everybody's idea of the ideal belt leather, but I'm going to make a couple belts out of this, and we'll just see if anybody likes that blue. I think it's really pretty, probably go really nice. Well, I'll probably go with brass as well, but I'll probably put stainless steel hardware on it. I might put a few conchos in it. Who knows? I don't have enough to make very many belts, but I can make a few belts. So you could end up with a one-of-a-kind or close to a one-of-a-kind belt there. That was on the leather. I did buy some sheepskin. I've looked at doing a scabbard a couple times, and those are nice lined in the sheepskin. And then I also got it because sometimes when I'm dyeing leather or putting a clear finish on, I don't want to put a scratch in the leather. You can get some scratches in it. And so, believe it or not, I'll cut a lot of this up for little applicators on that. Then I purchased, well, let me show you on the bench here a couple other things that I purchased as well. This is in no particular order. First package I just grabbed over there. If anybody else is into leatherwork and they've been through and seen any of Barry King's tools, he makes really nice tools. I had someone the other day comment on one of my videos and say you don't have to have a Barry King tool, and that maul's not going to work any better than a less expensive one, and they're probably right. I just happen to like the way that the Barry King mauls are made, and so I buy what I enjoy using. So that's a 1 pound maul, so it's a little bit smaller. You've seen this one a lot. This one's 24 ounces, and it's a little bit easier with the tooling for quicker repetitive strikes on the tool. So I purchased that, a bevel edger here, and then I purchased, based off of the class that I took and a few tools that Don Gonzales really liked, I purchased a handful of other tools here as well. A bigger lifter, some other bar grounders here. The ones that I used in his class were the 45s, and I bought I had just a small and a large, so I bought one in the middle of the 45, and then I bought a set of 35s on there, and then just a couple other thumbprints, kind of a fun geometric shape here, and then a little starburst here. So these will all show up in videos coming along here. So let me put these away and get them out of the way. Next on my list, I've purchased from Pikes Peak Saddlery a couple of times, templates, and this is for a Ranger belt, and I make a Ranger belt already, so I don't know that I really needed it, but it's got a lot of the measurements already laid out here, and when I make a Ranger belt, it seems like each time I kind of reinvent the wheel. So I thought I would purchase this and see how it worked out. But it's got the mainly these two pieces here would be the this is the strap end with the holes to go through your buckle, and then this is the part that holds the buckle on the other end. And if you don't know a Ranger belt, I'm not going to just try to describe it to you. I've got one that I need to make coming up here, and I'll show you how it's made, but it's definitely a different look to it. But I like Pikes Peak Saddlery. I've bought 4 or 5 other templates from them, and they specialize a lot in templates for saddle making. But he started, and maybe it's because I keep asking him each time I'm through there for things related basically just for belts. He's got more patterns that he's had each show that I've gone to. So I'll be showing this on an upcoming video. And then I know many of you know I purchased a Cobra 26 sewing machine from the Leather Machine Company last August. When I was there, you know, they have so many different colors available. I'll put a clip in here of some of the colors available, but so many different colors available on thread, and then thread sizes depending on the application. And I had purchased a couple of others here. These are, this one here is actually a pretty lightweight thread that I'm gonna test it on some very small, thinner leather. So it's a color I already had, and then picked up a couple of new colors that I didn't have. I bought this mainly because I had that red leather. And then I already had this color, but this is a lighter weight thread. This is all from the Leather Machine Company. And then I was able to, it's a kind of a nice time to do it because I can look at them, but these are different size needles for different purposes on sewing leather with my Cobra 26, including this needle here, which is for fabric as opposed to leather. No, I'm not getting into dressmaking. More on that to come. So next on my purchases, and once again, no particular order here. I purchased a few items from Aaron Heiser at Maker Leather Supply. He's based out of Texas, and it's an opportunity to kind of look through the items that he brings. And he brings I think a good selection from his shop. He had a lot of chrome tan leather, didn't have much in the way of, well, he had 0 Veg-Tan leather this trip. But I didn't buy a whole lot, but I did buy some more of these Locks LOXX fasteners. I've used these on handbags and purses as a closure. They're kind of they're made in Germany. I think they're really a quality made closure, and you just push this over it and it latches, and then to lift it, you kind of pinch those two apart. The one thing I'd say about it is when I have one on my bench, a lot of times people have a hard time figuring out how to open them. But I think once they figure it out, they really like it. It's a nice, good closure, very secure. So I've had these in the past. I just bought a new selection of colors. And then I did buy a pair of pliers here. And I'm not sure why that's in there. That doesn't have anything to do with pliers that I know of. And I've used just regular pliers at times to pinch along the edge of lighter weight leather when I'm gluing it and I'm trying to make a good form there, especially someplace where you can't tap it in with a hammer. And I'm always trying to be careful not to imprint it with all these lines. And I guess I could have ground those smooth, but I'd been thinking about buying some tin working pliers for a while. Well, these should do the trick here. So I purchased these once again from Aaron Heiser. One more thing for my tool rack. And then from Don Gonzales, I thought I would, he's had this on there for a little bit, and I mean, it's not a sympathy purchase by any means. I do like supporting the YouTube creators that I watch their videos, and you know, buying a little bit here and there I think helps support them, and it's kind of a cool item anyway. So I'm going to make some of these. I think these would make nice wedding party gifts for the groomsmen. But anyway, it comes with the tooling pattern and all this to make this golf ball sleeve, and you would pinch it here and it will release the balls out of it. You can hang it on the outside of the bag. So that'll be an upcoming video on making that. And then I purchased my hat that you saw me wearing. You probably know I'm a hat guy, so I purchased a hat from him, and ended up getting a sweatshirt as well. And this was I didn't give a lot of thought to the purchase here. I hope I like this. It wasn't inexpensive, was not inexpensive. And I purchased this from the same company that I got my hammer from here. And they make really nice looking tools. And the place to use this is in replace of this tool here. And this tool works good, and it's less expensive than that one. The limitation is a little bit here of, you know, how wide you can go. This one you can spread out a little bit further. And then the cutting surface is double-sided here, and it's really pronounced. I don't know if you can see it very well there, but I'm going to have to try that and see what I think. This one here is a little bit limited how deep it'll cut, just, you know, with the design of it. This one here looks like you could cut pretty deep. And I mean, I've not used it there. I guess I could have tried to use it in the booth. And it just cuts really nice. The other tool here, this little hole sometimes will clog up, and I figured this one's you know, better at that. This looks like it ought to be a pretty good surface to strop, and there's quite a bit to making this. If you look at it, it's set at a little bit of an angle so that when it's on the leather like this and it's tipped over, it's sitting more square to it, to the leather. So I don't know. I'm going to try it for a while and see what I think of it there, and maybe I'll do a longer review of it a different time. A little bit easier or quicker to adjust the distance cutting in. but I think if I tip it way up, I can probably cut, pretty doggone deep. So that's the one thing. I think this may require a little bit more finesse. I mean, that's pretty deep. You can't cut that deep with the other one. And so maybe it takes a little bit more finesse. So you'd have to be a little bit careful doing that. But I'm excited to put this to use and see how I like it. It's Horseshoe brand is the, if you just Google Horseshoe brand, you'll come up with it. Yeah, so that was on the way out the door, saw it, had to have it purchased there. That's now in the tool rack. I hope you enjoyed following along on today's video. Just a little bit of a recap of the items that I picked up there. I know many of you are curious as to one, if I was able to buy the leather I wanted, and I wasn't able to buy the leather that I wanted. I do have 4 sides with what I have on inventory. That'll get me, a few months down the road here. But one of the things that did come out of it was the pricing for the Veg-Tan leather at the show was high enough that it starts to push me into just a direct contact with Herman Oak and with Wickett Craig. And Wickett Craig was at the show, and I have to get some pricing nailed down from him, but the sheet that he gave me in the range, I guess the one thing I'll have is freight that I wouldn't have otherwise. So, the freight will add to the cost of it. But I believe if I'm going to buy directly from Wickett Craig, they're going to want to make sure I'm happy. And I probably won't have to feel like I have to send things back because they gave me a junky hide. I think that they'll want to thin that out themselves and make sure that I don't get those. I got some samples here from Wickett Craig. I had a good conversation with the gentleman from Wickett Craig on what they can do, and they seem really anxious to develop a relationship. And as much as I had a good conversation with Wickett Craig, I talked with Adam from Herman Oak Leather. They're out of St. Louis, and they would like to do business as well. So maybe I have to put a little bit of trust in someone to send me items that I think are good. I guess proof will be in the pudding there. But I got samples from both companies, and I'll be trying to figure out, as I use up this little bit of leather that I was able to purchase at the show, I got to figure out who to partner up with. And I'm going to talk some more with Montana Leather as well about something direct from them to where maybe they would be interested in partnering up on that. So I'm not going to bore you anymore with that. I've prattled on long enough here. Appreciate you being here today. Please like, share, and subscribe, and more importantly, have a great day.